Let's solve this system equations using matrices by hand. W minus 2x plus y minus z is equal to negative 3. 2w minus x plus 3y minus z is equal to 4. 3w plus x minus 2y minus 4z is equal to negative 1. 4w minus x minus y plus 5z is equal to negative 2. Now let me just double check my signs real quick. Okay, that looks right. Well, first thing we want to do is write down the matrix goes along with this. So we'll drop our w's, x, y, z's, and equals, keep the numbers in their signs. So we got 1, negative 2, 1, negative 1, negative 3, 2, negative 1, 3, negative 1, 4, 3, 1, negative 2, negative 4, negative 1, 4, negative 1, negative 1, 5, negative 2. And again, I'm going to do a quick check on my signs. One sign wrong and I've just messed up the entire problem. That looks good. First thing I want to do is we want to get a 1 here. Well, we have a 1 there. So now we want to get zeros below it. So now we're working on getting zeros in these three positions. Okay, start with our first one, the 2. We ask ourselves, what do we multiply times the 1 that we can then add to the 2 to make this 0? And that'd be negative 2. So I'll take negative 2 times row 1 and add that to row 2, and that's going to give us our new row 2. It's always opposite number. This is 2, so it's by negative 2. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, so negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Negative 2 times negative 2 is 4 minus 1 is 3. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10. And quick double check. Okay, 4 minus 1. 1, 1, 10. Now we'll work on the 3. We want to get a 0 here. So you ask yourself, what do you multiply times the 1 that you can then add to the 3 to get a 0 there? It'd be a negative 3. Again, it's always opposite number. So negative 3 times row 1 plus row 3 gives us our new row 3. Okay, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Negative 3 times negative 1 is 3 plus a negative 4 is negative 1. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9 minus 1 is 8. Check it. 0, 6, 7. Negative 5, 3 minus 4 is negative 1, 9 minus 1 is 8. Okay. Now this one, we're going to multiply the first row by negative 4. Always the opposite number from this. So this is 4, so we use negative 4. Times row 1, and we'll add that to row 4. And that's going to give us our new row 4. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Negative 4 times negative 2 is 8, minus 1 is 7. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, negative 1 is negative 5. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4 plus 5 is 9. Negative 4 times negative 3 is 12 minus 2 is 10. And let me check that. Okay, that looks right. Okay, so we got a 1 here, zeros below it. Our next step is we want to get a 1 here. Now you can switch these rows. Like if one of these already had a 1, then we could switch them and put that one here. So you can freely swap the rows. Well, there isn't a 1 here, so we'll work on this row. We're going to divide that row by 3. So we'll take row 2, divide by 3, and that'll give us our new row 2. Okay, 0 divided by 3 is 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. 10 divided by 3 is 10/3. And then the other rows just carry down. Okay. Now we got a 1 here. Now we want to get zeros below it. So we want to get zeros here. And it's always, again, the opposite number. But the question is, what do we multiply times this 1 that we can then add to this 7 to get a 0 there? And that'd be a negative 7. So we'll take negative 7 times row 2 and add that to row 3. And that's going to give us our new row 3. Let me scroll down here. And let's see what we get. 1, negative 2, 1, negative 1, negative 3. 0, 1, 1/3, 1/3, 10/3. Okay, negative 7 times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Negative 7 times 1/3 minus 5. Let's see what that gives us. I'll plug that in my calculator. So negative 7 times 1/3 minus 5. So negative 7 times 1/3 minus 5. I'm double checking myself. Enter. Then math enter. Negative 22/3. Then we're going to take the negative 7 times the 1/3 minus 1. So negative 7 times 1/3 and minus 1. And then I'll switch it to a fraction. So we got negative 10/3. And then I'm going to take the negative 7 times 10/3 plus 8. So negative 7 times 10/3 plus 8. See, negative 7 times 10/3 plus 8. And then math and enter. And negative 46/3. Now we also want to get a 0 here. So we're going to take negative 7 times row 2 and add that to row 4. And that's going to give us our new row 4. Well, negative 7 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 7 times 1 is negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Negative 7 times 1/3 minus 5, I guess it would be the same as this one. So that'd be negative 22/3. And negative 7 times 1/3 plus 9. Negative 7 times 1/3 plus 9. And math and enter, we get 20/3. And then negative 7 times 10/3. So negative 7 times 10/3 plus 10. And switch that to a fraction. We get negative 40/3. Okay, so we got our 1 here, zeros below it. Now, the next place is right here, but we've got a lot of fractions. If you have fractions, then you can multiply everything in that row by the LCM of all your denominators. So I'm going to take row 3 and multiply it by 3. And that's going to give us our new row 3. And I'll take 3 times row 4. Excuse me. And that's going to give us our new row 4. Now you don't want to do this if you already have that 1 there, because that's your goal, is you want to get a 1. Let's see what that gives us. So we've got 1, negative 2, 1, negative 1, negative 3, 0, 1, 1/3, 1/3, 10/3. 3 times 0, 0, 0. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times negative 22 over 3 is negative 22. 3 times negative 10 over 3 is negative 10. 3 times negative 46 over 3 is negative 46. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times negative 22 over 3 is negative 22. 3 times 20 over 3 is 20. And 3 times negative 40 over 3 is negative 40. You could even, if you wanted to, divide all of them by the same number. Like I could divide this entire row by 2. But we won't worry about that for now. Remember what we're doing. We're going down this diagonal here. So we got 1 here, 0's below it. 1 here, 0's below it. We want to get a 1 here, 0's below it. So I'm going to take row 3 divided by negative 22. And that's going to give us our new row 3. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, 0 divided by negative 22 is 0. 0 divided by negative 22 is 0. Negative 22 divided by negative 22 is 1. Negative 10 divided by negative 22. Probably do this in my head, but I'm making enough mistakes on these without doing a whole lot of that in my head. Gives us 5/11ths. And then we got a negative 46 divided by negative 22. Which gives us 23/11ths. I could, if I wanted to, divide all these by a number they're all divisible by, but there's no need. So we got 0, 0, negative 22, 20, and negative 40. The reason why I say there's no need is we're gonna plug in our calculator anyway. Now let me write down this so I can continue it up at the top, because I'm out of space. So I got 1, negative 2, 1, negative 1, negative 3, 0, 1, 1/3, 1/3, 10/3, 0, 0, 1, 5/11ths, 23/11ths, 0, 0, negative 22, 20, negative 40. Okay, so let's continue up here. So we got 1, negative 2. It would be a miracle if I don't make a math mistake somewhere in here. And negative 3. Write a sign down wrong. Do something. 0, 1, 1/3, 1/3, 10/3. These are not easy by hand. It is so easy to mess up on a sign, write a number down wrong. If you're doing them totally by hand, I'm using the calculator to do the fractions. But if you're doing it totally by hand, then very simple to make a mistake. There we go. Okay, so now where we're at is, again, we got a 1 here, 0's below it. 1 here, 0's below it. 1 here. Now we want to get 0's below it. So we're going to take 22 times row 3 and add that to row 4, and that's going to give us our new row 4. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, 22 times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. 22 times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. 22 times 1 is 22 plus negative 22 is 0. 22 times 5/11ths. 22 times 5/11ths plus 20. Well, that's interesting. Gives us 30. Okay, this is going to come out nice too, I think. But let's see. 22 times 23/11ths minus 40 gives us 6. Actually doesn't come out too nice, it looks like. I was thinking I might give us 2 or something like that, but if I didn't make a mistake on that. Why didn't that come out nicer? Oh well, I'll just continue. Okay, 1 here, 0's below it, 1 here, 0's below it, 1 here, 0's below it. So our next step is we want to get a 1 here. So we're going to divide everything in that row by 30. So we'll take row 4, divide by 30, and that's going to give us our new row 4. Okay, so we got 1, -2, 1, -1, -3, 0, 1, 1/3, 1/3, 10/3, 0, 0, 1, 5/11ths, 23/11ths. 0 divided by 30 is 0, 0 divided by 30 is 0, 0 divided by 30 is 0, 30 divided by 30 is 1, 6 divided by 30 I think is 1/5, but let me see. 6 divided by 30, math and enter, 1/5. Doesn't leave me feeling good. But we'll see. Okay, now that's REF, row echelon form. We'll go backwards. We want a 1 here, which we already have, and we want to get zeros above it. So I'm going to take -5/11ths times row 4, and I'll add that to row 3, and that's going to give us our new row 3. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1/5. Okay, -5/11ths times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. -5/11ths times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. -5/11ths times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. -5/11ths times 1 is -5/11ths plus 5/11ths is 0. -5/11ths times 1/5 plus 23/11ths gives us 2. Well, that came out nice. Okay. Now we got a 0 here, so we want to get a 0 here. So we're going to take -1/3. Again, it's always the opposite number. This is +1/3, this is -1/3. Times row 4, then we'll add that to row 2, and that's going to give us our new row 2. Okay, -1/3 times 0 is 0 plus 0, 0. -1/3 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. -1/3 times 0 is, wait a minute. -1/3 times 0, stupid train, I'm sitting here trying to think and it's just blowing. 0, then it gives us 1/3. -1/3 times 1 is -1/3 plus 1/3 is 0. And -1/3 times 1/5 plus 10/3. Math and enter. -1/3 plus that plus 10/3, 49/15. Now we want to get a 0 here. So we're going to take 1 times row 4, and we'll add that to row 1, and that's going to give us our new row 1. Okay, 1 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0 plus -2 is -2. 1 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1 plus -1 is 0. 1 times 1/5 plus -3. -14/5. Okay, so now we got a 1 here, 0's above it. So we're moving up our diagonal. Now we're right here. Of course, we already had the 1 there, but now we want to get 0's above it. So I'm going to take negative 1/3 times row 3 and add that to row 2. And that's going to give us our new row 2. Let's see what that gives us. Negative 1/3 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 1/3 times 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 1/3 times 1 is negative 1/3 plus 1/3 is 0. Negative 1/3 times 0, 0 plus 0, 0. Negative 1/3 times 2. Negative 1/3 times 2 plus 49/15. Negative 1/3 times 2 plus 49/15 is 13/2. Okay. Now we want to get a 0 here. So we'll take negative 1 times row 3 and add that to row 1. And that's going to give us our new row 1. So negative 1 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 1 times 0 is 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Negative 1 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 minus 14/5 gives us negative 24/5. Okay, so then we'll work with this one. And we want to get 0's above it. So we want to get a 0 there. So we'll take 2 times row 2 and we'll add that to row 1, and that's going to give us our new row 1. Okay. So let's see what we got. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1/5. 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. 0, 1, 0, 0, 13/5. Okay, 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus negative 2 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 times 13/5. 2 times 13/5 minus 24/5. And math, enter, we get 2/5. Okay, 4 equations, 4 variables. Our first 4x4 square here should be a diagonal of 1, 0 or else. That means it worked. And our answer, in theory, is right here. So this will be W, X, Y, and Z. So we got 2/5, 13/5, 2, and 1/5. Now there's probably a 99% chance I made a mistake somewhere in that problem. So let me go and I'll plug this in my calculator. You can't see this, but and let's see if I can figure out where I messed up at. If I did, maybe I got real lucky. 1, negative 2, 1, negative 1, negative 3, 2, negative 1, 3, negative 1, 4. I could go off of a script when I'm doing these, but part of the fun of creating these videos is doing it on the fly. If I was just reading off a script, that would be kind of boring for me. Then I wouldn't create them. Okay. Let's see what we got. 2/5, 13. Oh my lord, I got it right. Shocking. But that would be our answer. Now you can see why technology is so important on these problems. It is so easy to make a sign mistake somewhere. The previous problem I did in using Gaussian-Jordan elimination, which was a smaller system of equations, I had to do it 3 times till I got it right. And I determined I wasn't going to redo this one over and over. This is actually my first shot at this. But anyway, that's our problem.